Hello everyone, great to have you here. I'm back with another episode, and let me tell you one thing this one is genuinely one of my favorites so far. We are going to talk about something that sounds like science fiction but is already happening around us. A world where you don't tap a screen, you don't click a mouse, you don't even pick up your phone. You just look at something and it responds. If that made you pause for a second, good, because that's exactly the kind of shift we are talking about today. So let's start with the most talked about example right now, Apple's Vision Pro. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Ishika, that thing cost a fortune. Fair point, but put the price aside for a moment because what's actually interesting isn't the headset itself, it's how you use it. There are no buttons, no remote, no touch screen. You control everything using just your eyes, your hands, and your voice. You look at an app icon, do a small pinch in the air with your fingers, and it opens. That's it. Your eyes work like a cursor. A tiny pinch replaces a tap, and if you don't want to move at all, you just say what you want. And instead of sitting on a screen, apps appear around you, floating in your actual room, on your walls, and even in the air in front of you. I don't know about you, but when I really first introduced, I was shocked. It genuinely stopped me for a moment because that's not a phone upgrade. That's completely different relationship with technology. And this actually brings me to something I want to ask you. When was the last time technology felt natural to you? Not something you had to figure out or learn. It's obvious from the start. Because this is something we think about a lot at Design Studio UIUX with my team. We actually worked on a real project in this space. We designed the website for E3IQ, a company based in Hyderabad that builds AR, VR, and mixed reality experiences for industries like healthcare, education, and even the military. And working on that project honestly changed how I see this whole space because we had to ask ourselves how do you design for experiences that go beyond a flat screen? It was challenging, it was exciting, and it pushed us to think very differently about what design even means. I have dropped the full case study link in the caption if you want to see how that came together. Now, here's where it gets really meaningful because this isn't just about cool gadgets or expensive headsets. VR and touchless interfaces are already being used inside hospitals. Patients are using VR to manage pain during medical procedures, and studies have shown it actually works. Measurably, clinically, patient reported significantly less pain and anxiety. That's not a marketing claim, that's published research. And for medical students, one study found that people who trained surgical skills in VR performed 30% better than those who trained the traditional way. 230%. That number genuinely got me. The healthcare VR market is already around $5 to $6 billion, and it's expected to nearly reach around 67 billion by 2034. That's not a trend, that's a fundamental shift in how we deliver care. And it doesn't stop at hospitals. Construction companies are now walking through entire buildings in VR before a single brick is laid, catching design problems early and saving enormous time and cost. Workers doing safety training in VR training led to nearly around, you can say, 40% improvement in hazard recognition. Think about what that means for the real accidents prevented in the real world. Nearly 100 million people worldwide are expected to be using VR regularly by 2027, and the entire spatial computing market, which is the broader term for all of these, is projected to grow around $110 billion to $1.7 trillion by 2033. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. The next version of technology isn't going to ask you to adapt to it. It's going to adapt to you, your eyes, your voice, your natural movements become the interface. Screens quietly fade into the background. Computing starts feeling invisible, and that's actually the goal. The best design, whether it's a website or a spatial experience, is the kind where you never notice the design at all. You just feel it's working. That's what makes this such an exciting time to be in this field. Thank you so much for listening to this one. If it got you thinking, share it with someone who would love to hear it. See you in the next episode. Till then, take care.